What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, X Report. I believe we're on episode 5 now, so that's great. Just keep it going. This episode is coming out a day later than normal. Normally, I put them out on Friday, but this one will be out on Saturday. I'm thinking about actually just switching the day over to Saturday now. Um, like a couple weeks ago, I got a new job and I work during the week. So it's been a little tough to find the time during the week to work on the podcast the way that I wanted to. So I'm thinking I'll probably move it to Saturday from now on, but it's still going to be a weekly thing. So it's just one day later, and but we'll keep the podcast going. Of course, I want to thank everyone for watching and listening. I appreciate all the support every week and everyone who messages me and tells me about the podcast and how they feel about it. I take all that feedback in and I try to use that feedback to improve the podcast each time. So, for this episode this week, as I said, I was a little busy this week. I didn't have the time that I wanted to work on a good, true topic like I normally do. So, today I think I'm gonna just switch it up for the topic, and I wanted to do an episode about sports. Really, there's not many. There's really only NFL on now and soccer. So I'll talk about those two, and it's more of a. I guess it's more of a light episode. You know, the other episodes I've been doing a lot of introspective type episodes where just trying to speak on how to better myself and how to better yourself and how to improve that type of things. But yeah, this episode will just be me basically talking, giving my thoughts on the sports that are out now and how my teams that I like are doing in those sports. So, because I've got plenty to say about that. So, this should be an enjoyable episode, even if it isn't too long. So, we'll start with NFL, which I'm sure a lot of I'm sure a lot of my viewers watch NFL, especially the ones here in America. And I'm sure, well, not everyone knows who my team is, but my team is having a rough season, a very rough season. And so I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan my whole life. And my whole life, they've really been the same team. It's been a couple years where they've done a little something, they've got a little better, fooled me into thinking we were gonna have a run. But for the vast majority of these 22 years of my life, the Cowboys have been a bad team, and this year is no different. This year is probably one of the worst. Well, I don't want to lie, but it feels like this year is one of the worst years to be a Cowboys fan, just because. So last year we had an underwhelming season, went 8-8, 500, middle of the road type team. But the thing is, we have so much talent on offense, and well, last year we had talent on the defensive side of the ball. We had fired our coach, hired a new coach, got a new coaching staff. Just the expectations were high this season, even for me. Like I've known to not let the Cowboys fool me a lot, but I'll admit, before this season, I was pretty fooled. I thought we were going to do something this season. It was going to be a different Dallas Cowboys team with a new coach. I thought the same mistakes weren't going to happen. And I was wrong. I was fooled. I got fooled again. And I knew it on that very first play, really on the very first play of the season. The very first play of the season, we were on defense, and DeMarcus Lawrence jumped offside on the very first play. After watching that, I just had a feeling. I was like, nothing's changed with this team. This is the same team that it's always been. And so far, they're proving me right. The first few games were with the Cowboys, they like to dig themselves into a hole. Just that first quarter, anything that goes wrong. Like anything that could go wrong will go wrong. And it just leaves the team in a big hole because it continues on to the second quarter. So by the time halftime hits, the team is in a gigantic hole that they have to try to dig themselves out of. And when we had Dak Prescott as the quarterback, the team was actually doing a little bit of digging to get yourself out of the hole. Like, I feel like the offense itself, once the offense gets rolling, it's not that much of a problem, really. But the only thing is, it takes 2 quarters for that offense to get rolling. And the Cowboys' defense is probably the worst defense in the league. I would say that with confidence. That defense is the worst defense in the league. Anyone can throw on that defense. We had Daniel Jones looking like Peyton Manning out there. Any team that plays against the Cowboys, you just know their quarterback is going to throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, that's the bare minimum with this team. There's no secondary, nothing. And like I said, with the offense having all these slow starts, by the time second half arrives, we're down 28-3. And it's just such a hard axe to have the offense carry the team back from a 25-point deficit. And this is with our defense. This is with having to rely on our defense to stop the opposing team so our offense can have a chance. And even with all that, the offense was doing something. Like, they were putting us back in games. But I believe it was against the Giants game. And Dak Prescott, our quarterback, broke his ankle. He broke his ankle bad, and he's out for the rest of the season. We ended up coming back to win that game, but they came back to win basically because Dak went out that game with the injury. Everybody on the team was fired up. We got to win for Dak. So they eked out. They went down the field and squeezed out a win on a last-second field goal against the New York Giants, who were one of the very few teams worse than the Cowboys this year, which just goes to show just how bad we are, that we have to rely on a last-second field goal to beat the Giants. And now Dak is out, and everyone knows he's out now. The new quarterback, Andy Dalton, he's probably one of the best backups in the league, but as far as being an NFL starting quarterback, he's not there yet. He's just not there. And the last game we got blew out again by the Arizona Cardinals. It was probably one of the worst games we played this season, which is saying something because every game I think that, like, every game I'm like, this is like the worst game we've played. So we're getting literally worse and worse. But even with all that, the Cowboys still have a chance to win the NFC East division and get a playoff game, which speaks more to the ineptitude of the NFC East division rather than the Cowboys' ability. Because in any other division, we'd be solid bottom of the pack with no chance to get to the playoffs. However, now we still have a good, decent chance of getting to the playoffs if we can win. We literally just have to win the division games, and that might be enough to get us in. But honestly, I'm not even sure if I want the Cowboys to go to the playoffs, just because going to the playoffs will just mean we don't get a good draft pick. We get clapped first round by who? 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Saints. Any one of the wild card teams that are better than the Cowboys but just happen to play in a hard division, they will definitely beat us. So I'm not too excited about playoffs or anything like that. It's just another wasted season. Another season where the Cowboys don't do anything. And it's just hard to have hope. I've had hope every year that this will be the year the Cowboys hit the Super Bowl. And every year those hopes get crushed. And this one, the hopes died the very first game. So I guess I count myself lucky this year. Well, yeah, that's how the Cowboys is going. Around the other NFL, you can tell the Seahawks looking good. They got Russell Wilson, MVP candidate. He's playing really well. That's who I want to say at this point, that's who I think goes to the Super Bowl in the NFC, Seahawks. There are a lot of other good teams, of course, but Seahawks have impressed me the most so far. Even though Their defense is kind of lacking, but their offense is up there, and you see Russell Wilson. He's on a different level this year. Um, I see Tom Brady with the Buccaneers doing pretty good. It would be something if they could get to the Super Bowl. But Chiefs and Ravens over there in the AFC, they also got their thing going. So it's looking like a good season as a whole. Just my team is ass. Just to put it bluntly, they suck. And the other team that I really root for a lot is Chelsea in the Premier League. Now, that's the team I feel like I get more invested in Chelsea at this point than I do the Cowboys, just because, well, Chelsea got to have their own problems, but they can at least play. They can at least put up a fight against teams. This season with Chelsea so far, so we've got a lot of new players, the new exciting players: Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Hakeem Ziyech, Chilwell's come in, new keeper and Mendy, new center back in Thiago Silva. So we've got a lot of good players in to upgrade on the squad that we had last season, which was much needed because the squad last season was somewhat average. Even if we did get a fourth position and Champions League with that squad, it was still a pretty average squad. So we've upgraded on a lot of positions. But the thing about it is it takes time for those positions to gel, or for those players to come in and get acclimatized with the new team, new league, new style of play. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword because it takes time for this stuff, but it's time that Chelsea don't really have. Like, we've already dropped points that we didn't need to be dropping. And with the way the Premier League is shaping up now, the title race seems to be wide open. Like, it could be anyone's year this year. Like, it's really a good chance for Chelsea to get the title, bring the title back home this year. But for that to happen, the team needs to gel quickly, and the tactics of the manager need to be better and clearer and more concise. We need to have a clear style of play. And right now, it's tough to see where that style of play is coming from because it seems to change every game. And it seems like it's a lot of individual excellence that we rely on to score our goals and win our matches. But when we've got the new center back, Thiago Silva, and the new keeper, Mendy, when we've had them in the lineup, we look a lot more defensively solid, which is Chelsea's biggest weakness is the defense. Like, no question. The attack, I would almost say the attack is world-class level. No lie. World-class attack. And I think the midfield is pretty decent. It's missing a couple of profiles, but with the players we have there already, it's a very good midfield. And even looking at the defense, the players we have are good. Like, that's the thing. The players we have are good, but it's just like with the defense, it's like one mistake and it's all gone. But a big part of that was our old goalkeeper, Kepa, who might be the worst goalkeeper to ever play in the Premier League the way he's played. With him in goal, we started to go down, and most likely to, because he would almost guaranteed give a goal away, just the way things worked out with him. So I'm very excited to see now that Mendy is fully first choice goalkeeper and will be in the lineup without question. I'm very excited to see how we push on from here. I think because Chelsea need to be, last year we can call that a transition season. It was, had a transfer ban, new manager, so the squad couldn't be refreshed, and we were able to get top four with the FA Cup final. We lost it, but it was good to get to that final. Okay, but we've had the transition season now. This year, with all the money spent, we need to make some real impact. We've already got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, which really disappointed me personally because I thought that was a good chance. I thought that we had a good chance to win that and get some silverware under our belt, but that's another chance gone now. So we need to. My expectations are we really need to be getting third in the Premier League at the least, and a comfortable third. Like, this doesn't need to be a battle for top four like it was last year. With the squad we have, and the money we spent, it should be an easy top four, top three get. And honestly, I want to see us push for the title. Not saying we have to win it this year, but I want to see us push for it at the very least. Champions League, I want us to get to quarterfinals at the very least. We've gotten to the round of 16 the past couple years that we've actually made it to the Champions League and gotten knocked out. It's time for us to get past that round of 16 and actually go deep into the competition. So I want to see quarterfinal appearance at the least, should I say. FA Cup, I want us to win that. We need to get some type of silverware. FA Cup should be one that we can win. Of course, it's a cup competition, I know, so anything can happen each given day. But I feel like that's something we need to really be pushing for, FA Cup. Of course, if we're not pushing for a league or pushing for the Champions League at that time, but we really should be pushing for any trophy that we can get. So I would very much like us to push for that FA Cup. With Chelsea, it's a big game coming up Saturday, which is the day y'all will see this episode as I record it Friday. So by the time this episode comes out, Chelsea will probably have already played. They either will have already played or been in the midst of playing. And they play Manchester United, one of the big teams in England, and one of Chelsea's big rivals, and a team that has beaten Chelsea a good bit over the past few years. So it won't be an easy game by any means. It would be a big game for us to win. It would be big for us to win that, just to have a good big win to boost the platform off for the season, I think. And it would be good to get that win against Manchester United just because they beat us a lot last season. They beat us like 3 times out of 4 last season, and they seem to be our bogey team. That's what I would give them. So it would be big for us to get that win. I can't say I'm too confident of a win, but of course anything can happen. I believe we'll go there and at least we'll go there and fight. We'll go there and fight for a win. And if we lose fair and square, okay, I can't even be mad at that. What I want to see from us is no stupid mistakes like we always do. That's a big thing with us. We give away stupid mistakes and end up giving the game away. I don't want to see that tomorrow. But yeah, I don't want to see that tomorrow. I'm just hoping for a good game. Chelsea, one of the things I like the most to watch in my life at this point. So I'm very excited to watch tomorrow and just to see how we do this season. Much more than the Cowboys. So yeah, that'll be it for me today on this episode. Like I said, I was really busy this week. It's the second week of the new job, so I'm still getting acclimatized to the new environment and the new duties and responsibilities that they want me there with. So I've been pretty busy this week, but of course I wanted to keep doing a podcast. Like I said, I think I'll move the episodes to Saturday just to give me some extra time now that I'm working this schedule. So, yeah. Like I said, thanks for watching the past episodes and thanks for watching this one. And I'll be back next week, probably on Saturday, as I said. But I'll be back next Saturday with another episode. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you next week.